You know, I've had a lot of projects that got me excited that I was really looking forward to, but none more than I am looking forward to this project and building out, renovating, and refurbishing my car hauler bus. So this thing is basically a bus converted to half RV, half garage, car goes in the back. I love this thing, and it is great, but there's a lot of things that need to be improved and a lot of things that need to be fixed. And it's kind of been a running list that I've been working on for several years now while I've owned it and used it, and an ever expanding list. But I've had this giant monster batch of upgrades planned for a while, and I am so excited to finally make it happen and get them done. The result is going to be off the chain. Dang, I'm messing up my couch here. Alright, well today we are back to work on the car hauler bus. I started a pretty massive renovation, bunch of stuff. This stuff I've been planning for the last few years, kind of collecting the parts and pieces, and we're finally throwing down the gauntlet and doing it all. And we've in fact got a event coming up that I'd like to have all of this stuff done and this thing ready for, so we can put all those new upgrades to use. So yeah, we've got a lot to do, but we've done a lot of the less than glamorous stuff, and we're on to mostly the glamorous, satisfying, fun, upgrading kind of part of it. Mostly. So, for those who aren't familiar with this thing, this is my 1989 Eagle Model 20 car hauler bus, formerly a New Jersey Transit bus, converted to be a car hauler bus. So we've got our living quarters here. You can see this is the guy's car who built it, actually. That was his car. Kitchen, all that, and then our garage area back here, back folds down, car goes in the back. So that's the gist. The first project I want to tackle is finally getting rid of this shower curtain bathroom door. This has bothered me ever since I got the bus. Not a very enjoyable experience to use the bathroom with anybody else in the bus when this is all you got. But since we didn't have a working shower, it wasn't the highest on my priority list, but that has been resolved. It was not a simple project, but we got it done. We rebuilt the whole shower, we added new trim panels, sealed it all up, shower head handle, hoses, everything. The water pump's not turned on, but we now have a working shower. Not just that, but a working hot shower. Because of how big of a deal that is to me and how happy I am, could do something super simple, but of course, it's the car hauler bus. I feel like it deserves a custom door. We're gonna go a little extra, but not too much, hopefully. Let's get to work. Let me go grab this stuff. Alright guys, well before I go outside and start sweating like crazy, let's get this done. Maybe I'm procrastinating, trying to stay in the AC a little longer. I want to talk to you about today's video sponsor, Brunt Workwear. So I have become a huge fan of Brunt's because they finally solved all the problems for me with boots. I had tried so many different boots, and it seemed like with all of them, they built the boot and then they're like, alright, let's try to squeeze some cushion in here. So it was either you had some cushion and no room for your feet, or you had room for your feet but no cushion. And so it was either cracked feet or bunions. Like that's literally what I was dealing with. It was really annoying. And so I had to force myself to wear boots in occasions where I should be wearing boots to protect my feet. But then I can't even remember what the very first pair of Brunts I got, because I got one set for every occasion at this point. Like these are my outside ones. I'm probably about to put these on actually. And these are my inside ones. These are my main squeezes, my number one, number two. These are Compto, they're blackout edition, love these. But I kind of got a pair for every occasion, including weddings, if you really think about it. But basically, what Brunt did that really changed the game for me personally is they took this ridiculously thick cushioned insole, and then they built the boot around that. So it's like they started with the insole, and then built the boot so you have enough room for your feet with the cushion. And it sounds so simple, like such a simple concept, but it makes a world of difference. So now, instead of, it's flipped 180. Now I have to be like, oh, this is really a situation where I should be wearing tennis shoes. Like, why am I wearing boots for this? I don't need boots for this. But I just like wearing boots, man. These are my dailies, you know? So anyway, I could go on and on and on legitimately, but I got a lot of work to do. So if you're interested in trying out some Brunts for yourself, or any of the workwear they have for that matter, go to bruntworkwear.com, use my code TaylorA10 to get $10 off your first order over $60. Great way to get a good deal on a set of boots, or again, whatever you want, and try it out. I was never a fan of this style of boot until I started wearing them, and now they've become my number two, number one, you know? So take that for what you will, but they got pretty much every kind of boot you could ever want. So, I mean, you know, choice is yours. But that being said, my choice is put these on and get to work. So let's get to it. Oh, I'm so happy to finally be getting rid of this thing. Got a shower curtain though for here. Oh yeah, I only have a shower curtain. It's gonna be kind of in the way though, actually. Well, I guess I'm not gonna do that. Alright. That's the old track. You can call it that. See if the new one fits. Now I'm getting a little worried. Oh yeah. Oh, we're dialed, man. Freaking dialed. Got the track in there. See our new track. We're obviously going to cover this, but anyway, there's our track. So this one goes to the far end, and there's a catch back there, which actually that's probably about right. And then this one, there's a magnet here, so we don't even need this latch anymore. Give us a tiny bit of extra room, and then that's how we'll build our door. We'll probably actually make it a little bit larger. I'm gonna measure, but anyway, you get the idea. Track's up. Track fits. Ships. Does backflips. Get back to work. See you later. No, I'm just kidding. You know, if you watch my videos regularly, you may be noticing a theme. It's almost as if I'm allergic to wood. I just don't like making stuff out of wood. To be fair, I don't have as much wood making type of equipment, and definitely not skill set and specialty. I'm normally building race cars, working with metal, aluminum, all sorts of stuff. So, you know, that's just kind of my go-to. Now, I got this material, this 1x1. I decided to do aluminum tubing. Now, this door could definitely be made out of steel, but it's going to be heavy. It's going to be on a track. You know, the thing you got to take into account with any sort of RV is, yeah, you're building it like a house, but it's a house that's got to roll down the road at 70 plus miles an hour, right? So, you know, the less weight we can have hanging on those brackets and bouncing around, the better. Not to mention, I just like working with aluminum, and while it's, you know, obviously a little bit more difficult to weld and takes a little more effort, I can't just MIG blast it together if I don't feel like TIG welding it. The upside is that it's a lot easier to cut, grind, shape. Now, the other thing for me in this scenario is this is going to be a high traffic thing. It's a door. And, you know, the paint will probably hold up for a while, but if we can get this done in a way where it has a nice finish to it, we can just kind of leave it and we don't have to paint it. That's one of the big main benefits that I, you know, like aluminum for, is that I don't have to worry about it corroding. I don't have to paint it, you know. If you do want to paint it, though, it is a little bit trickier, but I don't have to, you know. So anyway, that's just my take on it. Not to mention I got to wrangle this thing in and out of the bus and hold it up and hang it up, so it not being £1,000,000 probably be ideal. So we got the main perimeter frame cut, and realistically for this door's purpose that would be enough, but of course I want to at least diagonal brace it, just, you know, make sure it's nice and solid and rigid. So, and for me, if I have some kind of extra piece and drop, it feels like a freebie, you know. Like I didn't break into a new stick to cut this piece. This was a drop from one of the pieces for the frame, so easy peasy. We just cut the angle in it a little bit better, and now we got our diagonal piece. Again, it was, you know, it's like we didn't even have it. We didn't take away from anything. Now, of course, we could have just used one piece of aluminum, and we could have just had, just a piece of aluminum, basic piece with no cuts, no nothing, but, I can't help myself, man. I got a plasma cutter, I gotta use it. I gotta use the features, so I decided to cut my Garage Built logo into it, which is the only reason I use this logo so much is because it's the only one that I've taken the time to convert into a plasma cuttable format, because it's actually harder than you think. Because if you just cut out the logo, it'll just cut everything out and just leave a giant hole. So it takes a little bit of, finagling. But also, if you know me, I'm a big fan of my dimple dies. And, to be fair, functionally, they do stiffen up the panels. They give you less of that wobbly noise, but also they just look cool. And, I've used them on other things on this project, I think. So, we got to keep with the theme. So, these panels are getting dimple dyed. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what is the point of a door if you have holes in it? Yeah, we'll get to that. All right, just stop getting ahead of yourselves. All right, your questions will be answered at some point, but we got to dimple dye them. Okay, I just couldn't get this idea out of my head. I debated it a lot because I'm like, man, this is gonna be a lot more work. But I just no matter how I imagine this door in my head, I just couldn't imagine it without some dang old dimple dyes. We're doing an aluminum door. It's got to have dimple dyes, and of course, it's got to have a random dimple dye pattern in a variety of sizes, which is a little more time consuming to do because you got to keep switching the dyes. But it's fun, and it's just I like it. Maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm sure it's not. But for me, I enjoy it. I think it looks sweet. Problem is these panels that we got. It must have been like the top of a pile and had a piece of plastic that melted to it. But they do not have a nice finish. Which if you were gonna finish them, like powder coat them or anodize them, that wouldn't really be a big deal. But when you plan on using the raw finish, to an extent, not optimal. But we're taking it one problem at a time. You gotta get these massive panels cleaned up and ready to go on the door frame, which the one downside with plasma cutting your logo into anything just because you can and you have the features is it takes a little bit of cleanup. It's a lot of individual cuts. So yeah, we gotta get that cleaned up. I was debating trying to add the circles back into the dimple dies, like basically have not through hole dimple dies, but as I kind of assumed, it wasn't going to work. But that's okay, because again, we got a cooler plan for that. There's a plan, I promise. There's a plan, a loose plan, but there's a plan. But it involves getting this door put together with these panels. I have a bad habit of tacking things together before I thoroughly clean them, and man, both of these pieces of material, all these pieces of material were dirty, and I was fighting an uphill battle when we've already got an uphill battle. So anyway, let me play you the song of my people. I tend to buy material that I can use for a variety of projects instead of buying material for specific projects. And I did actually go get this material for this project, but I got a batch of material that I could use for all projects. And here's where a slight mistake on my part is, this the cover panels, the panels are a thinner material than the tubing, and they are dirty. And it's the same thing that makes them look not good, is it also makes them weld not good. And the problem with that is that it requires so much heat to get the 1/8-inch wall aluminum tubing to melt, but a lot less heat than that for the panels. So it is a fight. They're just wanting to warp, pop up, melt. It's not been kind to me. It's definitely being a struggle. I don't think I expected this to be the most trying part of this door building project, but it is the last part. So I mean, I guess it's kind of earned its time to throw a fuss. But after quite a bit of effort, welding on the back side and the top side, we got this thing stitch welded up, which means we have a door. Now, we need to try to polish that door. Don't worry about that wobble. That wobble's because of the welds. That's why we ground them down on the other side. So don't even think about that wobble. Don't look at it. Don't let it go through your mind. The wobble doesn't exist. But yeah, I don't have a ton of polishing compound left, so I'm trying to milk this last little bit to try to get this giant door polished up, which is a pretty big door to be trying to polish with not a lot of polishing compound. But you know, it did something. It's definitely not what I was going for. And if you ever polished anything with a lot of cracks and crevices, if you know some idiot decides to dimple dye and cut logos in, it's really annoying to get the polishing compound out. But anyway, we got it polished up roughly for now. I don't think I'm going to be able to live with that long term. I'm going to have to come back to it. But we got it polished up. It's built. Now it's just a matter of putting the hinges on. And I think we're about ready to try to test fit this thing on once we get the hinges dialed on. So we're getting there. So we're almost done. Chugging. Chug-a-wugging. All right. Well, our door. It's still self-definitely screwed. Our door is done. I'm in love with the way the polishing came out, and I keep debating if I want to polish it again, but I think I'm just going to toss it on and see how it fits. I assume like plastic wrap or something. Got hot in the sun and melted on it and left like a pattern. Imagine plastic wrinkled. Kind of looks okay, kind of cool almost here where it polished up. At least I'm convincing myself that. But here, I didn't go hard enough. So it's like polished, not polished, not polished, polished. We will install it, which really once we put it up there, tighten the things, and then it's done. For now, I got to decide what to do with the backside, but that's for a little later. First things first, we got to get it on there, and I want to move on to the cockpit side of things because I'm trying to make this event in a couple weeks, and I've got a lot to get done to do it all in a couple weeks. So I'll see you guys in the morning. It'll be 2 seconds for you. Some sort of transition. Just imagine a transition. Use your imagination. I don't remember exactly how we did this. Oh, there we go. Problem is, I gotta get in here with it, you know. Oh, I need those. I got my dimension right. Oh yeah. Money in the bank. Shorty what you drink. There's a little gap, but it's pretty good though. Pretty good. Here's the gap I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see it. The door's square, so either this isn't completely square. I mean, I guess I could get a level and figure it out. It's not bad, though. I mean, it's not like I'm sharing the bus with anybody that absolutely can't see in there. Now, obviously, some of you are probably thinking I'm crazy with the dimple dyes. The plan is to put a backing on this and lights inside of it so that it lights up. That I may forego. I'm just debating what backing material to use, but yeah, see, so there's this part up here, which is a magnet. So when you open it, or when you close it, latches in nice, and then that it goes to about there pretty easy, and then there with a tiny push, which is plenty of room to get in and out, and then I mean, I gotta say that works pretty good, pretty good. Here's the view from the facilities, and then when you want to open it from in here. Yeah, that's what it looks like partially open, and then Close. Woo! Oh, gosh, I can't tell you how good this feels to have a freaking door here. It opens nice. I mean, that's one hand, low effort. And we flick the lights on. We got our shower curtain. Oh shoot, I forgot about that. I still gotta do that. Crap. We'll come back to that maybe. I do still need to do a clean, especially after all the demo work of fixing the shower, but put the lights off. So sick. That has been bugging me since day one, that stupid curtain. And now we have an actual freaking door. All right, like I said, we'll come back to that. Maybe I'll do it, I don't know, I might change my mind. But I want to start working out the driving area situation. It's like, don't get blinded by the light. This area is the one it has kind of been my hang up for taking this thing places, because it's just so torn apart. You can see all these wires, I just kind of shoved them out of the way. This stuff's all loose and taken apart. Basically, we're going to renovate this entire area. Now, I installed these rock light type deals that are red, and I've changed my mind. Ambient lighting in most cars is usually kind of a bluish, tealish kind of deal, you know? So anyway, I got some RGB ones that I'm going to replace these with while we're in here wiring all this other stuff up, because we got a lot of stuff to wire up, and we've got a bunch of leftover switches that are not in use. I'm going to utilize all these switches, but I'm going to use my own little fuse box for this, so that way it's kind of independent of the factory bus system, because I had tried to do this before and use the factory bus power wiring, and fun fact, every wire in this thing, factory, is white. All the same color. It makes things a little tricky. And yeah, anyway, basically I'm going to make my own little fuse box for all the accessory stuff. That way it's independent. One of the things that has to get wired up in this process is our new head unit. So we have this big open cavity now where the camera switching module used to go. And I got not one, but two head units. So we've got this one, large screen for the multimedia, CarPlay, completely independent of this one, which my plan is for it to be primarily GPS. So that way we've got a head unit dedicated to that. We're not switching away from the GPS to change a song or whatever. And then the multimedia one. It's a little silly, but we have the space. I thought we might as well use it. It'd be kind of cool. Reminds me of playing stuff. So yeah, I got to decide final layout stuff, but let's start getting this knocked out, because that'll be really, really nice to have not only good sound system for driving down the road, listening to music, but also GPS. I've always had to use my phone with this thing, and it'd be really nice to be able to see where I'm going on a display. It looks so cool just standing back here. And the interior lights, it gets super dark in here. All of it's going to be great, but we got to get it installed. So let me quit jibber jabber, let me get to it. Now that we got a dang old door done, do one more look. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I am going to take this back off to him and repolish it. I ordered the stuff and then also the backing, but we got a door, man. I'm freaking pumped. We got a freaking door. So cool. Sick. Feels good. Feels good. Nice project to get done and out of the way. Okay, I said yeah. It's funny to me to think back to when I, first started dabbling with 3D printing stuff and trying to learn Fusion. Don't get me wrong, I still got a very, very long way to go. I will never stop learning. There are so many things with designing stuff, but point is, this is something that would have been an undertaking then, and it's just fun to see the progression, having dabbled in machining aluminum stuff and whatnot. This seems like such a quick, simple project now that to me a few years ago would have seemed like such a crazy project. And that's what I love about doing these projects, not only doing them, but a learning process. So anyway, basically we got to design these little things to thicken up the radio, basically, so it goes in there tight like it would if it was a normal radio spot. And with these kind of things, I like to design a couple options, so we got options. All right, well, we got that cooking. It's going okay. I really need to invest in like a newer, more modern 3D printer. I've had this one for probably closing in on 10 years, something like that. It's been a long time. I'm not the biggest fan, I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, of 3D printing, just because obviously something this big I can't machine, but if I can machine it, it's faster for me to machine it on my home gamer CNC machines. And it's definitely cheaper than using like a high quality carbon reinforced material. I guess if you add it in the tooling, it might be similar, but it's significantly faster. A part that I could probably cut in an hour, 2 hours might take me 8-10 hours to print for an even remotely structural piece. Again, they have different use cases though. Like obviously machining what we're trying to make here, would take a very long time, you know, and be a lot of material. So they have the, moving on, while that's cooking, let's go start wiring. We got to come up with a place for a fuse box and get a bunch of wires routed up. So we're ready and we have expansion capability. That's the goal. So in here, where we have all our wiring stuff. So we need to pop this off. I need to get a flathead. Is this part of it? Oh no, it's a hinge, that's right. Okay, yeah, 1 sec. Pretty sure there's, I think it's this guy is a power terminal. Holy shit. Tires for my F80. I've been bailing in it a lot down to flight school and cooked my tires. And I got my solo cross country tomorrow, so I'll be prepared. But this is what I needed for the bus. All right. Well, while the printer's still going, let me show you. I really enjoy wiring, but I've been dreading this part. I enjoy wiring. I really hate routing wiring, but something cool that I figured out. So, before I gave up on my backup camera, since it's kind of annoying to have nothing, this is the monitor. Now, it was suction cupped over here. The suction cup failed. It would always fall off. It was in the way if you tried to shut the curtains. And the cigarette lighter port, it stopped working in this one. I tried it in another one. It seemed like it worked. Then that stopped working, so I assumed it had failed. But then before I gave up on it entirely, I was like, let me just try this. So I cut the cord and gave it power and ground. And sure enough, it works. So I went ahead and just mounted the monitor up here so it swivels, but it's properly mounted. It's nice and out of the way, but it's very visible, and I've got the wire tucked in and routed down here to wire up with everything else. So I'm pretty excited about that, at least for now, while I decide on replacing the factory location cameras and doing that whole shabacle. This works. So anyway, what we're working on now, I want to start getting all my sound system stuff in. Right now, we've got just these two speakers way up here, which are like, you know, kind of hard to hear. This is a head unit for those. We're going to retain these, but we need to add some more that are a little closer to the operator area. And I decided on this area. I think it'll work out really well. And the sub to go in here to turn this drawer that never wants to stay shut into a sub box. So that way, we got a banging sound system, you know, while we're here wiring all this up and part of getting the new head units and all that stuff. So, this is Johnny. This thing's a little unit. I got the same one in the green truck, and I got like a real gnarly sub. I think it's going to be pretty grade A setup for working with what we got. So, anyway, let's go make these plates. I got to go back, grab my tape measure, and come back and measure. And then, but you know, you can skip that part. One of the many challenges with this bus project is that it's pretty non-standard. You know, it's not like a car, which is something I'm used to. So, for example, adding these speakers, you know, the bus is never really set up to have speakers, and without hacking into all of the fabric material and stuff that was already done and potentially risking damaging it, there really was not a good place until I saw this glaringly obvious set of openings that needed to get covered anyway, and I had debated trying to find stuff to put in these openings to kind of fill them up, but there really wasn't anything I needed. I'd already done this project where I condensed to a smart TV and just the receiver and a DVD VHS player. I've got everything I need, right? So I don't really need these openings, and it just kind of came to me that it would be a perfect spot to not only cover up but put our speaker situation. So fortunately, these are pretty simple to design, assuming I got my measuring right. You weren't there for that part to supervise and let me know if I got it right or not, but I think it should be close enough. You know, the margins aren't super tight, and we have kind of just enough leftover material without me breaking into this new large sheet to cut these out, and hopefully they fit. You know, I'm a rough measure and then go for it kind of guy. So yeah, I think we'll be all right. But basically, these plates again are going to act as not only cover plates to cover up those holes, but they're going to be places for our speakers. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the perfect spot to have a set of speakers, but I know it's better than the 6x9s that are way up there that you can barely hear when rolling down the road. You know, I'm a big fan of music, and I want to be able to hear some tunes. And of course, you know, we're keeping with the theme, all right? It's not that I'm a dimple dye fiend. It is that we're keeping with the theme. We have other dimple dyed things, so therefore it's continuity, okay? It's not overdoing dimple dyes, it's continuity. All right, is that understood? I do like dimple dyes, but we're gonna go a little bit different direction on these plates than the other stuff, so don't worry. But you know, I just had to do it to them. Had to do it to them. There's a reason. There's a method, kind of, to the madness, maybe. I decided to go against my instinct that loves dimple dyes and loves things that are polished, which is also why I love making things out of aluminum, so I can polish them, and decided to paint these. With aluminum, you've got to take a little special care and use a self-etching primer, but overall, not too complicated. We want these to blend, you know. I'll know the dimple dyes are there. Maybe you'll be able to see them, but I'll know they're there, and that'll make me happy. So one of the biggest hangups for me with this project is routing all the wires. Again, I just do not love routing wires. It's not fun. And my main reason is I don't like taking the entire interior apart. I worry it's not going to go back together. And especially with the bus here, there's a lot of these custom panels that I don't really have the capability to remake. And I'm afraid they're going to fall apart. But I decided to try to fix them. All right, well, actually, that was worthwhile. Part of the reason I haven't taken this thing apart is because it's like flailing everywhere. But sweet, cool. I'll let that dry a little more while we have it off. But I just realized the 3D printer finished. So let's go check that out. Print time 24 hours. Insane. I made them a touch large just so that, you know, we wouldn't run into... I normally make it like the exact size and then a little bit of excess. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, that feels good. There's nothing like making something and then it's like this nearly perfect tight fit. But yeah, that's basically what's going to be in there. I guess we can go test fit them real quick just to see. Boom. Sweet. Well, that works. Probably still can't see it, but it works. Got our little kind of cubby deal. Got this one, which this, you know, twists and moves around depending on what we're looking for. I wonder if you're sitting over here. Oh yeah, I mean, you could watch something on there. Sick. Cool. 1, 2, and then we can bend these little tabs to make these go in a little tighter for putting a screw in. I don't know, I'll figure it out. One thing at a time. I need to check on my paint project, but it worked. 24 hours. Meaningful result. Oh man. I'm not used to painting my aluminium projects, and so I completely forgot to drill the mounting holes in these things before I painted them, which is not a big deal, but, you know, it's obviously you prefer to do all the things you're going to do to the things before you paint them, but it's okay. It came out okay. So now we got to start dealing with this switch situation, and this, I've been looking forward to this, because trying to make all these switches work for what we need is not the most fun thing, but I was realizing as I'm taking this apart, which I do not like taking this apart because there's so many hoses and airlines and wires, but I had an idea. An awful, terrible idea. No, an awful, wonderful idea. That's what it's called. I might do that. Yeah. Simplifies everything. This is not in use. It's like an old battery monitor deal. What I could do is I could 3D print something that's this shape, but then inside it, flush mounted, goes a button pad for all our accessories. So then they're truly separate. Just because if we have issues, we gotta take the whole panel apart versus this thing, it would simplify everything. So I think I'm gonna do that. I have one of these button pads already on my jet boat, so I'm just gonna copy it over. And while it's printing, I wanna work on trying to get all this speaker wire routed because I'm dreading that part. All the wire routing. I told you I didn't like wire routing. All right, let me see what I can come up with here. It's funny, some projects are bred out of laziness, or really just a laziness or desire to not do certain aspects. So my desire was to not take apart that panel again, because the last time I took it apart, it was a pain, and I was just every time worried that something's going to get ripped or torn while putting it back together. So this is more work, probably more work, because we got to design this whole deal and see if it even fits. I'm just guessing off of the similar switch panel I have on my jet boat while we wait for the other one to get here. So by the time it's done printing, because printing takes forever, you know what I mean? But yeah, I just really didn't want to have to deal with taking that panel apart. So designed a new part. Is it laziness? I don't know. You tell me. All right. Well, we got this thing cooking. Gonna let that thing cook. I used PLA on the other stuff, but this is the PLACF carbon infused. Used it before and it came out really nice, so I'm hoping we can get the same kind of results here. But yeah, maybe. I mean, this is other stuff I have to do. I may be procrastinating on routing the wires. It's not routing the wires is the problem. It's taking all this stuff apart and being like, what if it doesn't go back together nicely? I gotta do this stuff, right? I think so. Yeah, basically. Since I designed this off a several-year-old button pad that I didn't feel like taking off to find the bolt hole pattern, we had to do a couple little modifications to the design. Well, luckily, I mean, it's plastic, so it's pretty easy to drill and to do that kind of stuff. But it fits. Fits, it ships. It's a little small, but it's okay. All right, well, I have just been chug-a-lugging along on this. And I gotta show you, we're like at it's super blown apart, but it's about to go back together phase. You can't see anything, can you? It's a little dark. We worked till the dark. So this came out pretty nice. So that's what we're replacing, which was useless. And this is our new. It is a little bit off to the side, which really upsets me, but it is what it is right now. It's to be more accessible, right? Because of where it's gonna go. Anyway, we got that the aux beam switch panel thing here. So I measured all this off the boat, and this one is like a good amount larger, but it should work. And I've decided to forego the little slide-in cup holder thing that went here. It's always bothered me because it's just like sitting in there anyway, and make this like accessory electrical cabinet. We'll make cover plate. Ideally, it'll be backlit, and then I'll make my new cup holder situation. I've got a cup holder situation to rescue this broken thing. But I did the thing that I've been complaining about. I got all my wires routed up. So power wire for the sub. I got my RCAs routed. They go down here. These are all my speaker wires that route up here. I still got to route the two to those 6x9s, but the other speakers are all going to be right here. I got another power wire routed. It's in here somewhere. It might be a little shy. There it is. From where the amp power comes from, down there where all the other power comes from. I had to take this whole thing apart to, get down in there, coax the wires up, but they're up, they're over, boom. So yeah, basically, I've just got to start putting it back together. The speaker wires, you probably can't see, you'll be able to see tomorrow. They go through here, down into here, down into there. Yeah, so got that. I got some 90-degree RCAs for the amp because it's going to go mounted against the backboard there, and there's not a whole ton of room. This is for the tweeters. I've got this wire for doing all the lights. I took out all the old lights that I didn't like. Oh, yeah, can't forget that. So yeah, pretty much the only thing I don't have routed is the wiring to here, which is going to be the sub box. I don't have the sub yet. Basically, we just need to put it all together now. More or less. I need to install the new RGB lights that I got. Try and keep this simple for myself. But I got through the part that I dreaded. And now I got a whole fabrication project to do, but that's okay. Oh, and here is the, I didn't even know these existed. It's like the same flip down cup holder, but stainless. So it's metal, so it won't be plastic and break like plastic does. Try to get all this stuff put together. Sound system, aux wiring, switch panel, lighting. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff, and I'm very stoked to be around in the corner where we're not taking it apart anymore. So anyway, jibber jabber update. Meet you guys out here in the morning. Sound good? All right. Don't judge me for cracking a Red Bull at 9 o'clock at night. I got stuff to do in the hizzy, okay? I've been putting off. What I do in my time is my business. I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, got all the wiring in the bus ready. You can see my little tweeter spots. So now I can put the tweet hairs in. Now we got a pivoting tweeter. Those two are done. I'm gonna shave this Johnny down a little bit. Well, now it's the moment of truth time to see if our plates here are all going to fit, and if our speakers are going to fit, and if everything's going to fit that we've been working on to get this sound system done as part of this project. Again, this is one of the things I've been looking forward to the most, and fortunately, the large plate for the two mid-range speakers fit. I'm so glad that worked out. I looked at every possible flat surface in the cockpit of this thing to try to find a place and could not, and then all of a sudden it was like the sky opened up, and I saw that spot and realized that would work. Potentially. We'll see how it sounds, but now we just got to put our little button pad in to control everything. But unfortunately, even though I designed it the exact same size as the other thing, it didn't really want to fit because the hole was cut very not uniformly, not even close. So had to do a little bit of opening, but you know, a little massaging. Now it's a better hole, even though you don't see it. I care. Oh, look at that. Alright, big moment. Where we hook these Johnnies up to power. Alright, we have power. This should be our head units, I believe. I would assume. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Oh. Well, these are working. These are working. Those are working. Our amp is working. Let's see. I don't know how to use this. Let's go, dude. Works great. These are a little mediocre, these speakers, but I'm going to try to tune it out. But the nice thing is when you're down here, you've got a good sound stage with these. And then when you're, like, if you get up, if someone's sitting in the back, they're going to be able to hear that as well. Yeah, I don't know. I almost want to switch the audio to this one. I'm going to play with the gain because it doesn't go as loud as it should. Should definitely be able to go louder, I believe. But I got to mess with the gain on the amp. We still got to add the sub. But even without the sub, it's solid. I'm really happy with it. The sub is going to be, oh my gosh, it's going to be so perfect. All we got to do is drill a hole for the terminals, drill a hole for a port or two. I've got getting the stuff to shove in there, and then make a faceplate sub. I've already got the wires routed out. I've just got to hook them up. You can see them there. The amp's obviously chilling there because I'm going to have to mess with it and I can't tune it from in there. This thing's in here working good. Obviously this won't be so bright. I think I can actually... Oh yeah, I can just turn it off. I think there's a way to change the color without doing anything. Anyway, yeah, this one works. It's just my phone's trying to connect to it. I don't know, I'm kind of torn. The idea was to CarPlay to this one and then do music and video, whatever, on this one. But I don't know. Whoa, oh, yeah, so then this button on the right is power to my backup camera situation here. Let's see what we can do. I don't think we actually have a door one. But got my backup camera working again for the first time in a long time. Oh, and the lights! I've got a little clicker remote to switch them, so I just switched the mode. But yeah, I put lights in here like a couple years ago, and I hated the Medusa of wiring. These I like a lot better because they daisy chain together. So instead of having, you know, if you have 8 of these, 8 wires, 8 separate wires that go into this one, out of this one, right? Like a Christmas tree light. So I only have 5. I have 1 in here. And then since we're going to do a plate there, and then 2 and 2. But honestly, that should be about right for driving down the road. So yeah, so far everything's working. I'm really happy with how these plates came out. I know you can't really see them because of the lighting. This plate worked out nice. Everything's coming together, man. Oh, satisfying to hit it at first try and it worked like that. So anyway, I'm gonna grab my aux cable and see how the aux is with my iPod, and we'll keep chugging. But so far so good. So we gotta do the sick. Well, back to the drawing board, as they say. I guess this wouldn't be back to the drawing board. Well, I don't know. Would it still be back to the, if it's a new thing? We got to make our cup holder situation, and this is, you know, kind of forced my hand to do this project because of where I decided to mount the fuse box situation where we could actually access it, you know, for expandability and maintenance and so on and so forth. But, you know, I'm glad we're doing it because the cup holder setup thing on this has always bothered me. But what also was bothering me is that my dang plasma cutter, I needed to recalibrate it, and yeah, it did some Dr. Seuss type cuts before I realized that, and instead of wasting the piece, I decided to try to salvage it and basically just, you know, try to make the best of it because it's kind of in the middle of the panel. So we're gonna use it, and we're just gonna cover it with a band-aid. I may have a thing for things that are, you know, kind of messed up but then fixed in a way. I think there's a Japanese word for it. I forget the word, but I don't know. There's something about it. It adds character. And man, I'll be honest, I've been itching to cut one of these band-aids that I designed for a while ago for the jet boat, and haven't had a good opportunity or a good enough excuse. Don't get me wrong, I've thought about doing it a few times to make one, and that was my excuse. It's gonna be get a band-aid covering the mess up holes, and the machine's calibrated now. It's one of those things where you don't realize when you're using a tool a bunch how much you absolutely need it, you know. And man, this plasma cutter, things would be so different without it. So for a second there, I was a little worried. But while we're here, while we're cutting all these other panels, there is one more large opening. Now, it didn't need a tweeter, so I didn't bother making the panel originally. But seeing that one opening left over, you know, I had to do it. I had to cover it, get it all nice and uniform. So we also need to bend our cup holder plate. Another thing I could use a new press brake, but we're chugging. Alright, well, I got those last couple of aluminum pieces primered. Just got to let the self-etching primer dry. We can paint them. But I also got the last piece of our audio puzzle. This thing's definitely got some weight to it. Hurt my back, and it's a little tough to chuck around. It's probably 30, 40 pounds. This is like 1,000 watt rated, RMS rated. 8-inch, geez Louise, this thing's gnarly. Ugh. Look at the freaking magnet on this thing. Whoa, wow, I can't, it hurts my back. Ugh. Yeah, so that amp can handle a ton, or, well, can put out a ton of power. So I was like, I might as well get a sub that can actually handle the level of power the amp can output. This is it. So basically, I got my little piece of MDF here. Just need to measure that. Cut, paint, bolts. Got a couple other holes to cut. I got some cutting and grinding, well, not grinding, cutting and shaping to do. And we should be able to convert that to a sub box. Only downside is I ordered the packing and it never showed up. And I didn't realize it until I checked to see where it was. I'm like, why isn't it here yet? So I had to order more. It'll be here tomorrow. That's okay. We can get everything else done, get it assembled, and then we'll just put that in later. But anyway, yeah, gnarly sub. Thing's gonna bump. Now, in a perfect world where I had all the matching covering materials that the bus is kind of built with, I would probably try to cover this or take apart that whole thing and rebuild it, but recover it the same. But in this case, we're basically just making a faceplate for the sub and using what we've got, which is the box that was a drawer. And for those who don't know, that drawer is the most annoying drawer in the world. Every time you take a turn, that thing slides open, and I never use it because it's just kind of in a weird spot and I forget about it. So anyway, I'd rather have some bump. All right, don't judge me. So yeah, our paint dried on our cup holder situation. I got these little stainless drop-in cup holder marine things, and even put a flat bar around the bottom to finish it out, and it's looking decent. A little cubby here. Oh, and then pretty neat. Check it out. Got freaking cup holders. This is so much better than the old setup that, hold on, let me grab it. Put these last couple cover panels on. But this was the old deal, just as a memory refresher for myself too. It's stuck out way out. As you can see, it was bulky. It was just wedged in there. Wasn't really doing anything. Plastic cup holder thing. So from that to this nice solid aluminum deal. I mean, I will say I should have thought about this and had the Band-Aid clocked this way. The Band-Aid was, you know, I think a nice recovery for the oblong holes, not wasting the piece, but I should have put it where the gap was at the bottom. But yeah, it looks cool. You see the lights through it. The cup holders turned out nice solid spot. Again, there's way more room here when you're getting in and out. Nice reach. And then we got the cubby printing right now so that I can like put my phone in there or whatever, which will be sweet. I don't know if I showed you this yet, but I got these stainless flip down cup holders. So hopefully they shouldn't break. So got cup holders for days. I need them. I'm a drinks guy. Yeah, both of these work, and I'm still kind of going back and forth on which one to run the, you know, audio from. I don't know. But yeah, we got our, I think I already showed you this, but our camera working, and boom, we got our cameras back, at least for now, until we do a nicer setup. Man, I'm just so pleased. Oh yeah, I got the amp bolted up down here, and then the lights, dude, the lights. It's such a silly thing, but you know, it's just funny. I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but the shower is something I've been intent on fixing since I got the bus years ago. So getting that fixed, done and dusted, huge. But then, well, yeah, actually, let me show you. Clean that up. Let's see. So now we got a clean bathroom. Look at that. Boom. Got a shower curtain. Clean shower. I silicone this panel on. I just need to come back before I forget. And silicone carne around it. Obviously, still need to do the back for it, but we got a door. That wasn't even in the cards. I wanted to put a door there, but I didn't know how I was going to do it because I didn't realize there used to be a pocket door. And then the lights, like I spent a whole bunch of time, like a week working on this, trying to install the lights and route the wires all nice with that other setup. And it's like, to have that as just like a side benefit, it's just crazy. And then, you know, all these, being able to cover up all these big openings from the old electronics from when I condensed things down. And this one has a little surprise. So I got this USB-C cable, which is very long. It pulls out. So right now I just kind of tuck it back into the dimple dies, right? But that connects to the TV. So say I'm here at an event, I want to watch through some footage, look at a data log, I can hook my laptop straight up to the TV. So that's super sick. Oh, so the sub, went ahead and got the sub in. The perfect size. I'm probably going to squeeze the 10 in there, but I felt like an 8 would be a better option to, you know, work well for a variety of music. It does kind of want to vibrate the cabinet around, like slide it around, and I finally got my insulation. So I was taking it back apart to put that in, but yeah, this all came out so well. Like, I'm so happy with it. This thing, so much better than trying to jerry rig using these old switches, and this was just wasted space anyway. I mean, you know, to go from basically a block off plate to something functional, super nice, and we've got tons of expandability now. Yeah, man, I can't wait for that thing to finish printing so we can get that tossed in. He's still got plenty of room as a passenger, like I have room, you know, and most people are, let's be real, gonna put their feet up here. Yeah, sweet. So I still got to put this back together, like just this back panel back on, but again, I'm debating on which one of these to do the music out of. But so far, whew, man, I'm so pleased. I'm so, you know, I was gonna wrap this up a couple days ago, and then we were chugging, so I'm like, man, we got the inertia, let's keep chugging. So, yeah. That being said, there's probably still, well, at least one more episode I'd like to get done. It's at a point now where we can go drive it. We can go use it for an event. You know, the cockpit's together. It's not all taken apart. We got the interior lights, which is going to be really nice for driving at night, so it's not just pitch black in here. We got the cup holders. Crucial there. We got the shower, you know, so it's ready to go in that sense. But there are some other things, big and small, that I want to do. So let me know what you guys think. We should just hammer straight on to the next batch of things, or call it for now and work on something else. But yeah, I gotta finish the garage. Small one would be these lights that are falling off right now. cleaning that up. But also I've got 2 more batteries and an inverter to put in so we can run everything off batteries. I've got 2, boring, but maintenance the generator because it was being a little wonky last trip. One really important functional thing would be rebuilding this back door and converting it into a flip-up door, because it's nice to have because I can AC this area because you seal it off. Without that door there, can't do that. But it is a pain with the vet and how wide it is. So that is something I really want to do. And after the pocket doorbell, I'm like, we can knock it out. These are the old lights, by the way. You can see this, the Medusa. It just drove me crazy. I mean, I understand why they designed them like this, but it just made clean wire routing nearly impossible. There's the old drawer that the sub replaced. Some other old lights that I ripped out. Gotta grab that, silicone carny. But yeah, anyway, I'm jibber jabbering. I'm just so stoked. So stoked to have all this done and dusted. Literally done and dusted, because clean the floors, I gotta put the carpets back in. Gotta tidy up these extra leftover parts. It worked out so well too, because these are a lot of these speakers I had left over. I had these that were gonna be for the Dodge, but I ended up using different speakers for that. And then these I had bought for the green truck, but they were the wrong size, so I just held on to them. And man, this system sounds great. I'll play real quick. You can't, you know how this stuff goes, but.
Walk along and shows the road. Everybody got opinions when you make millions. All God's children. Let me keep living. I've been keeping it real. I can't sleep without pills. But it all go wrong.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, anyway, you get the idea. I can't play much of the music, but I'm just, it's dialed. Those speakers you don't hear super well because they're up there, but if you stand up, if people are sitting, you know, on the couch area, they've got perfect speakers, but these are great because with the sub, we've got mids, highs, lows. It's like very well-rounded system for this thing. So anyway, I said I was going to stop jibber jabbering. I'm just so freaking stoked to have all this done. This thing's been taken halfway apart for like well over a year now. But again, this is just stuff that I wanted to do for so long. The head unit idea I've had in my head for probably 2 years now. And I gotta find one, the right one, order it, blah, blah, blah. Figure out how to make it fit. And like, it's all in, it's all wired. We got expandability, like, I just could not be happier. So let me know what you guys think. And let me know if I should go ahead and just keep this momentum up on this project and continue on to the next batch of major things. I really probably should, because I definitely need to check out the generator before I go on a trip, and I'd like to get those other batteries in too. I don't know, we'll see. Let me know what you think, and let me know what you think of the upgrade so far. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the next one, whatever it may be. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, goodbye guys.